We left off in the last video making this ducting at Zach's. The point of doing this was to reduce the IAT temperatures, which we don't know if it actually did it or not because I still don't have gauges, but I believe it did. Then we also swapped off the eBay mufflers and put on the Greddys. Hopefully we'll make it back there today and extend the tips. Now we finally got something in the mail that we've been waiting for. As you guys know, the rear of the exhaust is being held up by zip ties. Somehow, some way, it's still working, but we have the correct mounts that came in. We wanted to wait for these so we didn't have to fab up entire new hangers. Instead, we can just use these adjustable rubber hangers. So I'm just gonna throw these on really quick. They're pretty self-explanatory. Still can't believe those zip ties are still there. Well, this is not going as planned whatsoever. We've already snapped 2 of the bolts that hold on these hangers. Surprisingly, these don't just slide on and off. They're bolted on, and with 2 out of 4 already being broken, I think I'm gonna wait to do this until I have a spot on the driveway to really take my time and do it correctly. You know what, let's just knock out this exhaust hanger stuff right now. And also, while I was jacking the car up, I noticed something. You guys remember a couple months ago when I mentioned that I was hearing some weird clunk noise when I was on and off the throttle? Well, check this out. When jacking it up from the diff being right here, you can see some play happening all the way up here. I'll try and film a clip of it. There's no tension on the diff right now. Check this out. The whole diff moves up. So that's definitely having some play. Now there were 2 extra washers with that bushing kit that I did not install. I was like, why are these left over? I have a feeling these are supposed to go in between the diff brace and those bushings. So I'm gonna take off that brace and just throw these on there. Well, I ended up needing to drop the exhaust to get access to the last diff bolt. So I went ahead and just took off the exhaust brackets that we're gonna need to mod up anyways. Surprisingly, this side came off with no problem. These are the 2 brackets that hold on the exhaust hangers. This is the bolt that I snapped that holds on the exhaust hanger. I didn't want to snap this one, so I took it off so I can carefully try and extract it on the bench. But unfortunately for this side, these 2 bolts snapped and these go into the frame rail right around here. So I'm honestly probably just gonna weld this bracket back onto the car. And then same thing with this one, I want to carefully extract this bolt so we don't have another snapped bolt in here. Gonna have to try and extract this stud from this bracket. Something about the rear end of these cars that always just collect rust. Just annoying to have to deal with. Then again, this car is almost 30 years old, so can't really be complaining. It's in pretty good shape for its age. But since we have access now, let's put on those washers to that diff brace. It is a little hard to see, but I'm basically just wedging this washer right in between this bushing here and the bracket. Sometimes if you get lucky, you can extract the backside of the bolt if the head snaps off. And it looks like this might actually work in our case. I didn't think it would, but I think I saw it spinning. Oh, it's going. This saves so much time. Look at that stud. That's a victory right there. Well, we got the forbidden kit out, and that's because I wanted to re-tap, or I guess chase these threads before I put it back in the car, because as you guys have seen, these like to snap inside when they're old and crusty. I typically don't like to use this big mechanism, so I just grabbed the 7/32 socket, and it fits right over our tap, and then we'll just chase it in there. Oh, you can hear the crustiness. You can see how much gunk is on those threads. Definitely cleaned it up quite a bit. So this time around, I'm gonna go ahead and use stainless steel hardware. I'm gonna put some chassis grease on every thread, just as a precaution since we know that this is a rusty area. I'm gonna grind down this area just a little bit so we can get a good weld on it. Then I also need to prep the metal on this bracket, and then I'll just weld it directly to the chassis. It's not like this piece will ever have to come off, so I'm not too worried welding it on there permanently. Alright, I think that'll hold just fine. We'll spray a little bit of this stuff on it. Now since we're utilizing a 2+0 exhaust, the whole reason for all of this refresh was because we wanted to run these extended little rubber grommets. You can see the factory one lines up with that first hole, but we needed it just in the center here. So that's exactly where these are. So when we had the exhaust zip tied up, we measured it and it was exactly to this hole. So we knew these were gonna work out for us. At least I hope so. But we will need to swap out the metal inserts that go here. They just look like this. You just slide it right through. Alright, now it's good to go on. Well, I ended up putting the RG2s back on the car because it was rubbing way too much. It started rubbing on the bumper, and honestly I didn't want the bumper to start getting erased, so I ordered smaller tires yet again. I tried, we failed. I wanted to run the biggest tire I possibly could. That way it doesn't crack if I hit a big enough pothole. The roads here in Illinois are not always the best. You're probably wondering, wait, the car's going back up. Yep, we're back at the Fab Boss's house, Mr. Zach. Finally gonna get these tips extended. Mr. Zach has ordered some 4.5 pipe. I'm trying to determine how far out we want this to go.
I've handed him the Sharpie.
Yeah, so apparently I'm in charge of this part.
Not my fault whatsoever, whatever happens next.
I was kind of thinking like a straight Can we
drop it
down.
from up high?
Yeah, let's do that. Alright, this is where I want it.
It's not bad.
Dude! I think right there will be good. That might even be too much. I don't know. I say let's try that.
The exact bottom.
So before we chop it all up, we're gonna put a straight line to determine the angles of everything so that we remember the orientation when it's on the bench.
Safety squints activated.
Safety squints and a rim job. I love it. Cool. Yo, that's almost exactly double the length. That's kind of crazy. It looks insane. What the heck?
I don't know if he's right.
I've never seen an exhaust setup like this. The tip is so long. Alright. Okay, that looks way better than I thought it would. But looking under it, it's...
That's a lot of tip.
That's not just tip anymore.
That's shaft.
That looks way better. This is you. This is the guy she tells you not to worry about. I really have not seen a muffler with a tip this long. Do you guys know of any muffler systems like this? It almost has to be that long for it to look moderately okay though. Like this is just way too sunk in over here, you know? Now the hardest part of this whole job is trying to get the other side to match what our first side looked like. We did take some measurements and mark the pipe. Now I'm gonna take it off and we're gonna make some cuts. Okay, first try. I'm liking that. I think we nailed it actually. Changes the look tremendously.
Yeah, it does help quite a bit.
Right? Before it was like, do you have an exhaust in this car?
Yeah, this guy doesn't have an exhaust, doesn't have an intercooler. Now look at you.
We got the exhaust mounted up, about to jack it up, take out the jack stands, put it on the ground, and get the full effect.
Yes. Make it look a lot better.
Looks way better. It's crazy what a couple inches can do.
All you need.
That's all you need, right? It looks significantly better. What do you guys think? Should I have left them sunk in? Or is the extendo the move? I think extendo. Okay, I was wondering if this is gonna happen, but the exhaust note seems to have changed slightly, but for the better. It seems like it's a little bit deeper of a tone. I wonder if you can hear it. Sounds good though. I'm so glad this car is coming together. Zach always does such a great job. Be sure to check out his page too. I'll tag it below. Andrew, I'm so sorry I'm having you do these tires like 6 times. I hope this will be it. So this is what came off.
Yes.
And this is what we're putting on.
Yeah.
So Andrew was saying that the Accelera tires run a little big. These are the Acceleras, but they're in a smaller size than these Ironmans. These are 225/40. These are 215/40. Hopefully it'll work.
You can kind of see that these are almost slightly wider.
Wider? What?
They look like 225s, right?
Yeah, they do. Ready? Yep. Before and after. It does look pretty similar. I guess
It's definitely taller.
taller?
Yeah.
They're like the same. I don't know. I wonder. That might actually be okay. It's close, but it's not touching. I may have cracked the code. I guess we're gonna need a test drive to find out. Okay, it definitely still rubs, but significantly less. Just kidding. Well, it seems like it's not rubbing at all anymore. I'm curious to see what the tire looks like now. You know, based on the sounds this thing was making, I was expecting a lot more tire to be shredded off here. This tire doesn't even look like it was rubbing. So I guess that really is the peak fitment. There you go, we officially have matching wheels. And I got the Gloria outside. Recently I showed you guys how my 240SX had become a workbench in a storage unit. Well, that changes today. It is so good to see this car uncovered once again. But there are a few more things I need to do to it before it's even drivable. For one, we still didn't even test fit if the seat is going to fit in there with the cage that we put in. Honestly, where we left off with this car is putting in the cage. This is a Cage Kits cage, and I have the door bars here as well. In the rear here, there was supposed to be an additional X, but I didn't want that because this is not a pro car. If I did put those 2 extra bars there, I wouldn't be able to haul anything in the back seats. Well, that is if the back seat will even fit now. And I also need to figure out some of the wiring, maybe put my gauges back in, and honestly, maybe even throw in the trunk. At some point, I'd like to visit this to-do list and see what we have left to do. But for now, let's just put the seat in, see if it starts, and maybe take it around the block. I have not driven it with the cage either. I don't even know the last time I drove this car. I think it was honestly to Andrew's to get this side primed after Mikey pulled the major dent that was on it. Seat is secure. Now let's throw in some gauges and the cluster. Well, I guess all that's left is connecting power to it and making sure everything works. Although maybe I should check the fluids first. Looks like we have good brake fluid, good clutch fluid. Power steering is in the trunk. Coolant. That's kind of empty. Oil. Full to the top. Alright. Probably due for an oil change, to be honest. Hopefully we don't spill too much. Oh, that took quite a bit. It's still going. Now, as you guys know, I only have like 2 or 3 batteries between all the cars, so we'll just use this jump pack for now. Okay. Got some weird backfeeding issue going on. You can see how the turn signals are dim, and I signal it on, it just turns less dim. Okay, so we got some issues. Now, backfeeding is usually most likely a ground issue. Basically just means it's getting power from the ground side, which is why it's called backfeeding. It's feeding backwards through the circuit. So I'm just gonna look over and see if I can find any open grounds. I already found one over there, just laying right on top. So I'm gonna bolt that one in, and maybe there's something under the dash too. Got the first one grounded, and I found one open that was over here. Luckily there's plenty of access to get to it. Let's try again. I wonder if those 2 grounds were all it needed. There we go. I don't see any more back feeding going on up there. Turn signals work, that's a good sign. Alright. About the whole no glass thing. Had to take it to the spot. I gotta throw the kit back on this car. It looks so weird without skirts. What's up, Mr. Ray?
What's up?
Well, that felt amazing. First time these cars are next to each other with the Z being done. It is a relief that we got the 240 running and driving once again. I actually need to pull in the Z to the garage because Ray is a specialist in buffing. So he's gonna get the Z looking right. So this would be a little bit of a before clip. It's hard to see on the camera, I think, but there's some swirls going on the door and the fender. And again, this is not a complaint by any means. When Andrew cut and buffed the car, the paint wasn't even dry. Now that it's been a week or so, the paint has cured, and we'll get this polished out. All right, step 1 to buffing the car. We're gonna use some waterless wash and wax. And what did you use? It was like bubblegum looking?
It's like Nova Wax.
Interesting. And this is just to get all the dust and grime off of the car first. Alright, Master Ray, what is this white substance?
It's Mother's rubbing compound. This is the actual bottle it came in, but
Is
it's
it?
like a water-based kind of compound.
Okay.
Because when you're like cleaning, when you're pressure washing after you clean it, it comes off real nicely. Like the compound that gets stuck in cracks and stuff.
Oh, really? Because other compounds would, for example, get stuck here or something, or?
Yeah, like 3M compound.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave it in there for like over a day or something, it turns into like rock solid.
Oh, wow. So this is the good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you prefer.
I mean, 3M, I used to really like it just because it fills in scratches a lot.
And then what's the wheel on your grinder?
Wool pad,
Wool pad?
also from 3M.
Nice, nice. Wow. Absolute mirror. That's crazy. Wow, man. Killer.
See this right here? You see it on camera or not?
Right. Oh, maybe a little bit.
Like the sand marks?
Yeah. And that's what you're trying to get out right now?
Yeah.
Alright, so this right here is the area you just did, the back half of the door, right?
Right here this way.
And then this is like before. Ah, man, the camera just barely picks it up. I don't know. Can you see the dullness in the door versus this mirror finish? It's crazy with just a simple wet sand, or I guess this isn't wet sand. This is just straight cut buff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude, it's crazy the difference it makes. Yeah, I'm not a painter, clearly, but I love learning about this stuff.
I'm slowly working my way there.
Yeah, that's your goal, painter?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet, man.
At some point in my life.
Hell yeah. You got this. I mean, you already have a good eye for detail, so I know you can do it.
My plan is I want to paint my car myself within the next year or so.
Within next year? What color?
Back to original, which was the Electron Blue Pearl.
Ooh, classic 90s Honda color.
I thought about like
Need to see
leaving
that.
it just that, but a couple people told me like, oh, you gotta throw a pearl in there if you're gonna do it yourself. You know, give it some more sparkle.
I can see that, yeah.
That'd be cool.
While Ray is working on cutting and buffing this side, I decided to mess around with some metal polish, so I didn't do that tip yet, but I did this one. Look at how shiny that is. That's nuts. So that's the after, and that's the before. It's not so bad before, but you know, doesn't hurt to make it a mirror. I was wondering, this is the stuff I'm using. Shout out to Mr. Nick. He gave me this bottle. Man, this quarter panel is absolute glass now. Killer job. Now he's moving over to the door. This was, I think, where a lot of people commented because I saw it on one of the roller shots in one of the videos. That's going to be a great before and after for sure. You're killing it, dude. You got to open a shop. Someday.
When the funds are in order.
Oh, same boat with me, man.
Feel that.
Before? After? Oh, you left like a perfect line of the before and after. That's a good way to tell. Just out of curiosity, I want to see the before and after on this tip on the 240. What up, dude?
You actually got that car running?
We got it running, dude. I like your paint on your bike. That's cool. Orange and green.
Paint it again.
What color?
It's marker paint.
Really? I couldn't even tell. That looks legit, man. What you on? What you doing?
Oh, heading to the bar to watch the Bears game.
I like that.
Drinking.
Drinking water, that is.
It's cool to see you driving that, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I remember you stopping by throughout the entire build process.
Yes.
You were the first one to see it all come together.
Actually, yes.
You were.
True.
You were there the whole time.
Long time neighbors, man.
Yes, sir. Well, it's always good to see you, man.
Oh, you too, dude. And I'm glad to see this coming along, actually.
Thank you, bro.
The wiring and everything when you had it all taped. Oh, you still have it.
Yeah, it's a little better now, but it's a little...
The diagram.
Yeah, you remember the diagrams.
I'm still trying to figure out my dad's 1967 Mercedes-Benz 230S.
What's next on it?
Let me drive it.
They won't let you drive. Why not?
They wanted to go into the gutter or something.
What?
Yeah.
Aw.
It's pretty slick.
Thanks, dude.
That cage is pretty slick, man.
You approve?
That cage is pretty slick. It goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm. It's like monkey bars. Well, maybe someday when I put another seat in there, I can give you a ride. It's only one
that's
seat.
extra weight.
See you, dude. Well, it got a little dark out, but that is significantly better. Hopefully you can see it all right. Wow.
Not perfect, but
Dude,
getting
that's so much better.
there. Did this too. This whole top piece.
Wow.
So
This was so scratched, it was almost like a gray color, not even black.
I didn't do the taillight yet.
Oh, this is a good
Probably
before.
see it, like, right
Yeah. You can see all the scratches. It's so bad. Versus, wow. This is cool, man. I love stuff like this.
Satisfying.
Yeah, instant satisfaction.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is the polishing stage.
Yes, sir.
So what compound is this one?
Mothers.
Alright. Looks like you changed out your wheel too. Is that... What is that one?
Black. It's like foam.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like real soft. I really not necessarily know how to explain it, but
Just a
like,
soft foam pad?
yeah. And so the compound pad leaves like real tiny scratches.
Right.
Just from like
the wool or
the
whatever?
wool.
Okay.
And this just pretty much shines them and like melts them in.
Yeah, he just finished doing the taillights here. They're absolute mirrors. I didn't think that was possible. You're killing it, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man. Ray has done an insane job cutting and buffing the Z. It almost looks like it's wet, like fresh out the paint booth wet. I can't believe it. It's the best the car has ever looked. Now he did teach me a new trick here because I asked him about, you know, on the Z's they puddle water here so it like stains the glass, and he told me you just spray some window cleaner and use a razor blade and it just scrapes it right off.
Some people might hate on that,
Well, that's okay.
but it works good.
That's okay. They can hate all they want. It's working. Yeah, dude, this looks brand new. Are you kidding me? This was like cloudy, like a whole half inch up, just clouds. It would look like that, I guess. That's a good example. Dude, it's perfect now. It's crazy how much the color changes with such a deep light. It's amazing what a cut, buff, and polish will do. Thank you so much for your help today, Mr. Ray.
Of course, dude. Gotcha.
And I think that's where we're going to end today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe some more. See you in the next one. Peace.